How much will this help?
Well, I think the fact that we're seeing kind of investment links on loans specifically targeted at public housing or affordable housing means there will be some kind of influx of cash that will support the property sector to some extent. But for many stressed developers, this isn't really going to move the needle. And I think rather than just being a sign potentially of easing, the more important signal here is that the common prosperity goal, the aim to make housing cheaper and more available for all, is really going to remain central to Beijing policy, particularly as we see some of this fine-tuning of the clampdown that has hurt so many developers from last year. And just take a look at the Securities Times front-page commentary this morning saying that affordable housing, this kind of investment in public housing, is actually going to be the key driver of growth in the property sector. That represents a significant shift from the way that we've seen growth in the property sector appear over the last decade.
Is this going to be enough to kind of ease some of the sector's woes, right? Because we saw with that sell-off where supposedly the national team then had to come in and try and stem the negative sentiment. Part of that was still concerns about the property sector and any signs of contagion.
Absolutely. Well, I think the short answer is probably not. We've seen very little reaction from investors, both on the credit side and the equity side, in response to this. And I think it's really because this is likely going to benefit the kind of state-owned, the LGFE part of the property market, who kind of generally are already investing in this part of the sector. For many of Chinese private property firms, which make up a significant chunk of the top 30 largest firms, this isn't really going to be much of a direct help. Many of these firms invest in luxury properties, luxury hotels, and clearly the signal is that those firms that are already under stress aren't going to enjoy much reprieve from this type of regulatory easing.